Okay, so by now y'all should know I've been abstinent for like 6 years. This month makes 6 years. And so I do plan on breaking it my birthday. But I was talking to my therapist and she was like, you mentioned somebody last week and you act like you didn't want to talk about it. So we're gonna talk about it this week, right? And I was like, oh yeah, he ain't shit. Like I shouldn't be, hunching on him, but here we are. And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you some bad advice.
Wait, what?
Make it worth it. Make sure you have a good old time, have a blast, and just make it worth it for you. We can talk about the rest later. AKA do it for the plot. That's all she had to tell me.
Right.
That's all she had that's what she had to tell me.
Listen, the coffee's back. That's the first thing. And secondly, you saw me pause there for a little bit because I was going to say congratulations. I was going to congratulate this chick. 6 years, I actually believe her. 6 years with no D. That's an unheard of type of thing with today's modern women. Chichi, you really going to believe her? Yeah, I'm going to believe her. Why not? Somebody out here, one of these chicks has to be telling the truth. And I think it's her. But to only let us down later on, and I mean the people who are probably congratulating her, to let them down by saying, I'm going to break it. I'm in therapy. People don't go to therapy if they don't have trauma and issues they're trying to work through. And it sounds like she's going to break it with the man who she knows ain't shit. That's like playing in the mud, taking a shower, traumatized from the mud, waiting 6 years and thinking, waiting 6 years and thinking, you know what? I'm going to do that again. Unbelievable.
This coffee smells like shit.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. Talk about the therapist too, man. These therapists, hold on. Let's go see. I think we've got a second one here.
So I'm getting a lot of comments like this coming from my therapist, but the reason why she says...
Okay, so she's saying they're coming for a therapist. The comment she's responding to in her comment section, because we're going to go read the comments, says, wait, your therapist? After you said he ain't shit? Ah, hell. You know what? Let's go read a few of these comments from this first video. So top comment here from the first video. This is from the first video that she made where she's saying, hey, I've been celibate for 6 years and I'm going to break it with some dude who I know ain't shit. Next comment here says, don't give him that infinity stone. I want you guys to really think about what's happening here. You are seeing what men assume happens. We get gaslit all the time when modern women out here complaining about, oh, how did I end up pregnant? You guys need to talk to these men who ain't shit. But here you are, managed to go 6 years without anybody getting access to your womb. You could have picked any dude out there, but you pick a guy you know ain't shit. And then we're going to have to sit down later on and make a video. We have to. You made us do it. You made us do it. Next comment here says, girl, don't do it. She responds back and says, I've been pushing it off for 1.5 years. So he's been playing the long waiting game. My guy's been waiting and waiting for those cheeks. Goes on to say the lust will not go away. So she can't resist this man who ain't shit. We understand most of you chicks can't, right? This is why dudes, they just start to embrace those horrible qualities. And somehow that's when you want to give it up. That's when you want to start a broken family. Somebody else here says, girl, that therapist just trying to keep you as a client. Don't do it. Of course, this is a female therapist. And I'm not saying that female therapists are horrible. I'm just saying they're probably, a little bit more unhinged than the male therapists, right? She came in emotional on that session and just said, you know what, F it. Go out, have a blast. What type of therapist? I thought your job was to encourage someone to not go out and re-traumatize themselves. Somebody else here says, as a therapist, hell no. Here's somebody else who says, I get it, but 6 years is a long time to just throw it away on a good night. And boy, is she going to have a good night. Someone else who says, I threw mine away after 4 years and my body needed it. Honestly, golly, these chicks are off the chain, dog. That's what you're doing out here? Wow. You know, you could see this chick and you may think, if you don't drink coffee and you fall for this type of stuff, you may think, oh, an angel. Oh man. But you know what? Let's give these chicks some credit. These are women who are, they're not bragging, right? And I know some of you guys are going to be like, Tisha, I can't believe you believe him. Some women do go abstinent for a couple of years. Like, that is an accomplishment. I'm not going to sit here and act like that's not a good thing. I think every person needs to exercise sexual discipline. I think a lot of people are too obsessed, right? But at the end of the day, she's like, it was well worth it. And I'm just here to point out that when it comes to sexual gratification, a lot of these chicks aren't going to pick the man if they want to have a good time, right? They're not going to pick the guy who they know is good for a long-term relationship. And listen, you're allowed to do what you want. That's not the point of this, is me saying you should do this. I'm saying this. When you come back with an ultrasound to Instagram, we don't want to listen. And if we do, some of us are going to be pointing and laughing. I'll at least try not to laugh, but I can't promise anything. I probably will. If I'm going to be honest, yeah, I'm going to laugh. That's just the truth. I've laughed before. Here's another chick who says, girl, I let a dude clap my cheeks. No, she didn't say that. She actually says, I threw mine away after 2.5 years. And I'm so mad I did. Right? Goes on to say, didn't even catch a peanut. You think these are DMs, right? The honesty, the openness. Goes on to add, make sure whoever you're doing it with has a nicely sized package. Oh. And some A1 stamina. She wants to beat senselessly. That's what you be doing, huh? Wow. Oh, man. Good to be back. Somebody else just says, if you made it that far, just keep it going. It's not worth it. These comments are actually pretty good. These are better than the damn video. Give me a sec. So somebody else who says, she don't want to lose you as a client. She knows y'all going to be locked in for at least another year. I'm hollering. One thing I've been opening myself up to a lot lately is I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, there's certain people who will look at something like this and they'll be like, that therapist is doing that on purpose. I tend to not jump to those conclusions a lot of times. Yes, I'm open to people being that evil, but in a lot of cases, and I know some of you may not believe this, I do try to think to myself, well, maybe, she's just as immature, doesn't understand life, and doesn't understand the risk she's telling this chick to take. And I'm talking about the therapist, right? But could it be that she's just plain sabotaging her just to keep her as a client, which would be extremely evil, right? That's some psychopathic behavior right there. And those people do exist. Somebody else who says, if you're abstinent because of your relationship with God, please continue. You have come so far. Don't do it. I know it's tempting, but hold on. Something's telling me that she's probably not, that she's probably not someone who takes Christianity seriously. I don't think she's a Christian. Maybe she is. Here's another person who says, some of the comments don't pass the vibe check. You have fun and be safe. So we have this chick here, of course, encouraging the behavior. Let me see. Do we have anything else? I was abstinent for 9 years. Age 21 to 30. I was miserable for 9 years, broke it and never looked back. Just make sure you're doing it for you. God loves you either way. Look at that. So this is actually a chick here who believes in God, and she's encouraging her, saying, go do it, and letting her know that she did it at 30 and never looked back. So she's just been getting taken to Pound Town since then, is what it sounds like to me. And I would click on this photo, but I think she has like a child now, which makes sense. you feel me? And the final comment here reads, my therapist told me the same. I was super hesitant because anxiety, but baby, I had a time. It was so worth it. So that's you, huh? That's you. Mm, mm. Man, I was surprised that this is the advice that like modern female therapists are giving to their clients who are also probably really liberal minded and want to be out here in these streets. I don't think it's really that much of a surprise. The lens that I look at a lot of life through lately is based on my own current lived experience, right? I have to do that in order for me to keep creating content, in order for this, to be, to have purpose within me. The day that I cannot relate to anything I'm talking about here is the day I will probably move on. So to me, I think of it from the perspective of, okay, what if I had a daughter who had gone 6 years and she just had to do something this reckless? I would hope that if there's a mistake made, that number one, I hope it's not made. But if it is, you wouldn't pick a man is an actual red flag. Because if you get pregnant, then that's all on you, right? Of course, your family will be here, but at the end of the day, it's all on you.
Okay, so I'm getting a lot of comments like this coming from my therapist, but the reason why she says she's going to give me bad advice is because, for one, first of all, I'm grown, but two, I already have everything set in place. I was going to do it regardless. Like, I'm going to do it regardless. So I'm in therapy because I hold a lot of shame. I get embarrassed very easily. So she's trying to make my decision not seem shameful because I'm grown and I'm human. And so she's like, well, if you're going to do it, enjoy it. Don't do it and feel bad. A lot of times we do stuff and then feel bad about it. Like, no, go in making it worth it, right? Basically. And the reason why I post the videos that I do is, again, to not feel shame. And that's really it. So, shame thrives in secrecy. And a lot of people are saying don't do it, or like if I'm a Christian and stuff like that. I'm not Christian. I really just didn't have anybody to sleep with. That's really what it was. So yeah.
What?
And I don't want to say anything about his character really. When you be like, men ain't shit. Like, he hasn't done anything to be like, Deja, why are you sleeping with this man? He's literally just a man with walking red flags. Like, y'all know. We know. It's just a situationship. So, when you say he ain't shit, it's basically, okay, that man don't want me. Even though I don't want him. But it's like, why don't you want me? So, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself and I'm not going to feel bad about it.
So your therapist doesn't want you to feel shame for something that you're about to do that's very shameful. And I'm just going to speak candidly now that she's confirmed. She said this. She said this man is a walking red flag. If someone says somebody's a walking red flag, I don't care if you're a woman or a man. If my boy comes to me and says, hey man, there's this chick, even if he doesn't value like starting a family, whatever, and he's doing his thing, whatever. If he says, bro, but she's like a walking red flag. The men who know me in real life know that I will tell him the truth. I'll say, hey man, that's going to be a headache. You will pay for this. Nothing is free in life. When you deny yourself, the price that you pay is that you don't indulge in your lusts, right? When you don't eat the cake, the price that you pay is that you don't enjoy the sweet flavors in your mouth, but you avoid the calories, right? You don't gain the weight. When you do the thing that you know you shouldn't be doing, or you're going to pay for that somehow, some way. Nothing is free. This is even to the guys out here. There's no chick out here that you're going to mess with that you're going to not pay in some shape or form. Don't get it twisted, bro. A lot of these dudes out here who deal with a lot of women, they pay. They have drama. They have women who are looking for them right now. They have restraining orders. They're changing their numbers. They're trying to avoid people. The drama that comes with it, it's there, right? They're getting tested left and right. If they do even do that, what am I trying to say? In this situation, when it comes to this woman right here, she should be shameful because there will be a price to pay. We've been there. I've been there. I've looked back. I've dated chicks who have said, hey, that was a bad decision when I made it and I wish I didn't. And it's almost never worth it, right? And it's not just the fact that she's doing something that we know a lot of people out here do. It's the fact that this is a great example of here's a chick in therapy, probably looking for a good guy, wondering why he doesn't want her. He's probably outside of her league. And then she'll be complaining, wondering where all the men at, where are the good men, so on and so forth.